Alright, I'm going to go ahead and try to make this short and sweet. I just wanted to share with you my solution to a video light for a person who wants to shoot videos occasionally, infrequently enough that the idea of setting up your traditional video light is absolutely painful and it keeps you from shooting the videos that you need to be shooting. I understand that a softbox is one of the most usable lights for kind of general purpose and produces the best results. You can set up like little point lights like shop lights or even a lamp, and that gets the job done because lighting, more light is better than no light, but a softbox really can't be beat for most purposes. But generally the problems are that they're bulky, time consuming to set up, and if you cheap out like I did, they're kind of flimsy and a little just sucky to set up. So I knew I had a kind of a checklist for my next video light. I try not to reveal too much there. And I wanted it to be battery powered, or at least have the option to be battery powered. I want it to be LED, so I don't have to deal with smashing giant CFLs, and I don't have to deal with the heat of a halogen or other filament bulb. And I also wanted the setup to be really quick. So I also didn't want to spend way too much. I was willing to pay a premium because I knew that these things weren't going to be totally cheap, but I also didn't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. So like I said, I think I've nailed it with this setup. At least for my purposes, this is great. So what I've done is I've actually picked up, I'll show you this one here. This is a Milwaukee stand light. It is a work light. LED work light that runs on their M18 18-volt battery system. Batteries look like this. This is the one that came with this one. The stand light has come down in price quite a bit. I got this entire setup with the battery, 5 amp hour battery, for about $200 on eBay, brand new with the charger. That's pretty amazing because that battery alone can be $80. The reason this was $200 with the battery and everything, and the reason they dropped the price is because they released a new version here and they're calling it the Rocket Light. This one comes with a, the primary distinctions are this one does not have a built-in charger, this one does. This one will not accept an AC power cord, this one will, and it'll run off of AC while it's charging your battery. Also, the head on here is articulating, has 3 separate little nodules that rotate, whereas on this model, let's see here, the head is all one unit. This is rated at 2,000 lumens, that one's rated at 3,000 lumens. They are both based on their quote-unquote true view, I believe is what it's called, LEDs. They're just a higher CRI, more balanced output than you'd expect from shop lights. Generally, a lot of shop lights are bluish. Way too blue, and then you have to kind of try to cancel that out in post later, and it's a lot of work. So I wanted something that was quality light output from the get-go and not have to correct for it later. So real quick, just to show you my favorite things about these light stands, even aside from being used for video lights, the stands are amazing, but the way that they set up. So I'll just grab this and try to do it with one hand here. They are a little tight here. There we go. Incredibly tall, first of all. So this is fully extended without the tripod opened. Go ahead and open the tripod. This is my favorite part. This is the tripod. Push here, pull, do it with my foot here. And there it is. Completely set up, totally stable. I don't know if you've dealt with the crappy like Cowboy Studio lights like I have with the CFLs, but those things tip over if you just breathe on them. That was my biggest fear with them, is they were always tipping over and I was always tripping over the cords. So this thing's battery powered, and so you don't have to worry about the cord, and there you go. You can get pretty freaking high. So I'm just gonna go ahead and power it on. It has three light settings. There's when you first turn it on, it's at full power. So that's just me shooting at the ceiling. It lights up this area really well, just as a kind of general cast light, what do you call that, like a bounce light. So that's full brightness. Now I'm going to step it down in brightness and you'll notice it'll start to flicker. You may not notice actually, because the sun is overpowering it a bit. But as you step down, if I get closer to it, you might be able to see. It uses PWM to adjust to dim the LEDs, so the frame rate of the camera, if it's not in sync with whatever the PWM frequency is, you'll notice some strobing. So I usually just use it at full brightness. So this is the stand light. Again, this was about $200. I was going to just get 2 of these. In fact, I ordered 2, but the eBay seller only shipped me 1. I had to get a refund. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get the rocket light for the other one, because I want to know what it's like. I want to see if the color quality is a little bit better, and I want to see if the extra brightness is really worth it. But ultimately, I just wanted to have the option to plug it in. Because a lot of times you don't know how long you're gonna be shooting for, and the idea of the battery running out kind of sucks. So this is great to actually have both, because I will have a battery charging in here while I'm using this one, or if I'm not even using this one, but just to have the option, you know, even if I just need one light, I don't know, it's great. I like having both. Since the color quality coming out of both of them is a little bit different, it's close enough though that I would use them in the same shoot and not be concerned. Okay, so now I'll talk about this situation. This is the Softbox. This is a, who makes it? Newer with 2 E's. Where's the logo? There she is. Okay, so these are, they collapse down into, you know, typical umbrella shape. They come with a sleeve, and I had to come up with a way to actually attach this to the light. There's a slit right here. The head barely fits through it, but it'll go through. It's just a bit of a squeeze. Eventually it might actually wear that zipper out, but I don't care. I don't really think it's necessary that this need to be zipped up. But the nice thing about that is that slot gives you a little bit of adjustment. You can kind of tilt it up and down. And the way this is set up is if I push the umbrella back a little further, I get a little more tilt out of it. But it's just right for what I need it for, because it's the angle by default is essentially what I would normally need. And then if you need it a little bit higher, you just raise it a little bit higher. So I have this peeled off right here, and that just Velcros up into place. So I can set these up and tear them down in under 2 minutes each, which compared to the CFLs is quite an improvement. It'd probably take me a good 10 minutes on each of those, and it's always very finicky because you're dealing with those bulbs and I'm always afraid I'm going to break them. So the trick was actually finding a way to attach the umbrella to the light that wasn't totally ghetto. And since I first got this one, I modeled up a bracket specifically for it, which is over here. It ended up looking like this. It just matches the profile of the top of the light. Has a pass-through hole for the umbrella to go through right there. Come on, focus, focus. And then I put a threaded insert in so that I can tighten that on the umbrella. But this piece just clicks on the back here, just grabs onto the profile. Boom, there you are. Nothing more than that. And I have to take it off every time when I'm not using it, because otherwise the head won't fit into its pocket here. Gosh, I hope this camera doesn't burn out by the time I get done with this. With the rocket light, I had to come up with a different method entirely, and I had to kind of ghetto it up a little bit with some zip ties passed through here, because I couldn't think of a way to attach to this otherwise. But I did this in 2 separate parts. So this is kind of like almost like a flash shoe. There's a dovetail that mates there. And then there's a split in the bottom so that when you tighten down on the rod, it spreads outwards, pinching and grabbing onto the hot shoe. So it pinches on the umbrella while it's also attaching there. So I'm just gonna leave this here for now because I need 2 hands to do it. But yeah, so the other cool thing about this guy is it remembers what setting you last used for the part of the light. It just has an on-off switch. But the light coming off of it right now, it's really strong. It's really shadowy because the insert's not on there. I'll just kind of half-ass it. Come on. There's that. These softboxes were about 20-25 bucks, I think. But I really, really, really dig it. And then when you're done shooting with it, go ahead and pack it up. And walk off just like that. You can even use it as a flashlight, a gigantic handheld flashlight. See? No problems. But I plan on using these as a work light too, so I just thought it was a great deal. Ended up being about $300 for this guy with no battery, and $200 for this guy, so $550 all in for everything you see here. So, hope you find value in this. I noticed there were other professional solutions out there for battery-powered LED video lights, but they were in the $1,000 $1,000 and up range for anything that even looks remotely durable. So I really like these. I'm a Milwaukee guy. I've got a lot of other Milwaukee tools, so it just made sense to move down the M18 road. So really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and check out this cat box, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign out just like that. 10 minutes later. See ya. Wait, we got a mailman coming. What's he got?